So, hello guys and welcome to today's episode. Now, this one's going to be about cleaning the engine parts, the block, like cleaning the pistons and stuff like that, and just cleaning the whole block in general. This is just the ways I'm doing it. I don't know whether it's the right ways. So I also done a review video on this, what I bought recently, a Cogs part washer. First time using it yesterday. It was actually worked really well. So if you go back to a previous video when we was taking the head off, you might remember the chain tensioner here. Now that was quite a goldeny brown colour. Now it's back to the original sort of silver. There's a few bits I need to get it to a bit more, but I think I might need a different brush for that, like a sort of stiffer paintbrush. But yeah, it's come out really nice. What I've done is I've left the oil pump in it overnight in the solution sitting there, because that was real brown and dirty. Well, I mean, as you can see, the top there of it. So it's going to be interesting pulling that out and seeing what that looks like. So yeah, let's get into this video then. So let's have a look at this. Okay, well that's very white, but what I'll do is I'll just grab the paintbrush, and it still feels very thick on there, but it is brushing off quite well, to be fair. Let's try something a little bit stiffer. Okay, you can already see there's quite a big difference there. So that's worked quite well, leaving that in overnight. So I'll tell you what I'm doing. So that's basically, it's like 3 parts water and then 1 part of this parts washer fluid from Cogs. I think you can get some other sort of different, more heavy duty cleaners that I might look into. There's some, because I've been looking on the internet on a few, and there's been some ones that actually look like they strip stuff really well. Obviously you want to be careful with what you're putting in those chemicals. So I think if you've mainly got an item that is like all metal, should be alright. But obviously you just want to read the contents or whatever on the back of the bottle. I'm also thinking about looking into an ultrasonic cleaner for doing like bolts and stuff, because they do one in Argos, funny enough, for jewellery, which is the same thing anyway. But doing all like the little bolts on the sump and stuff like that covered in grease, I think one of those could be quite good. It was only £22. It has batteries in it, so literally do it anyway. It's quite small. Because you can use them for bigger parts. You can get bigger ones for bigger parts, but I've sort of got this now, so I'm going to continue using this. And yeah, so it works quite well. I mean, if you don't have one of these, I mean, it was only £52, £51.99 for this, and then like an extra £5 for the solution. Yeah, you can always do what I did with my last build, where I just sort of had a bucket. Well, yeah, not a bucket, like one of the plastic boxes from Tesco's. Funny enough, I bought another one last night, like this, but I'm going to be using it to store stuff in instead this time, once it's all cleaned. And I just had like a spray bottle of degreaser and was just sort of brushing it and stuff. But this works a lot better, to be honest. It's nice where you can rinse it off. Okay guys, so I have I have done a load more to the oil pump. I'm going to leave that just to one side for the moment. What I've done is I've mixed up a new batch of the cleaning solution, but I've used some hot water this time. I've already done the exhaust side cogs, of the cogs on the cams, and they've come out really well. And then I've just covered them in WD-40 and cable tied them together to keep them protected. But what I thought I'd show is doing the Vanos, well, the intake side of the cams now. So when cleaning these, like I said in the other videos, you want to keep everything in order just in case you forget where it goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these all facing up the right way, and I'm just going to put them in to the bath in order from left to right is how it's easy for me, with the fronts facing upwards. Okay, so once they've been in there a little while, I'm just going to take them out and then start giving a bit of a rub over by hand just to see what they're like. And then obviously where there's bits that are built up more, just going to get the toothbrush in there. Start cleaning that bit out. And I can just rinse off some of the big bits on there. And then what I've done also as well, which I found quite well, is I've got a microfiber, and I'm just using that to get in there. And you can really apply some pressure, getting rid of some of the thicker stuff that's in there. And then just to give it a bit more of a clean up, because there's obviously a lot of staining on it, I'm just using, well, I've soaked it through a bit of Scotch-Brite stuff, and just using it very lightly, because obviously I don't want to start creating marks and damaging it, but just very lightly running over it. As you can see, it's already starting to come back up a bit silvery again. Now, obviously these don't need to be overly clean because these are just stains on it. The main thing I wanted to do was just get rid of all the thick gunk and grime off of them. So once I've done that, I'll give them another little wash up under the tap. And I'll just put those down into one side here, and then continue repeating the process with the other bits. The stains can actually be a little bit helpful as well, so if you don't rub them off too much, it's going to show you a little bit where how it needs to go. So this side you can at least see that it presses up against this like that. So you might not want to wash the stains off completely. Okay, let's put those like that. So once it's all done and cleaned, what you're going to do is get a dry microfiber, and you're just going to want to dry these off completely. Now, this engine's I'm probably not going to rebuild this for a few months. Like, it's not going to be fully back together, I wouldn't have thought, till next year. So obviously with these being metal parts, some bits in the engine are alloy or things, but some bits are steel. And obviously water and air cause oh, I've forgotten what the word now is. Water and air cause corrosion. So what I'm going to do is, like I just said, drying off and putting them all back in order. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to get them all. I'm just going to coat them in WD-40, like a lot. I haven't got any at the moment, but then what I'll do, well no, I have got these, like I showed you earlier with the other ones. I'm going to cable tie them together, and apparently I'm going to cable tie them together. And apparently, once they're cable tied together, I'm going to put them in like sealed bags, like sandwich bags and stuff. I've got an oven cleaning bag here. I could put some in that because that seals up. That might work. Because I've got the chains and that to do, so it might be worth just putting these all in one bag. But yeah, as you can see, they've come out quite nicely. There's obviously still some residue of oil and that on them. Oh, so I might have to put a cable tie through the middle so I don't lose that spring. That's it for cleaning these internal parts. I don't know what I'm going to do next, so I'm just going to say, now let's move on to the next cleaning process. Or process. I don't know. There we are. Okay guys, so what I've done now is I've got the cogs and the timing chain and stuff like that in this sealed bag. I've sprayed a load more WD-40 in there, but that can all go to one side. So now I'm going to pay a bit more attention to the block. So inside the timing chain cover, as you can see, turn it around a little bit, I've already had a little bit of a go. This was quite easy. I just got a blade, a scraper thing, and I'm just going from edge to edge very lightly, just to get the thick of it off, and that's working really well. So like I say, you want to be lightly with it. You don't want to be putting any scores into where it seals up and stuff, because it could cause leaks and stuff like that. So just very lightly. Okay, so bam. Once I've got most of that off, what I'm going to do is just chuck a load of degreaser over that, and let it sit for a bit. Probably once again going to go over it with a microfiber and use the Scotch Brite on it very softly. Cool. So yeah, as you can see, that's come out actually really nice. There's just a few little bits of build up which from actually the outside of the block, so I'm just going to go over them with a scraper again, just like that bit there. I think that's about as much as I'm going to do with that. Now this is the M52 block, so it is an Alimon. If you have got an M50, I would advise spraying once again some WD-40 over it, just to help protect it. I'm going to do it on this anyway, just purely because. Okay, so with the block, what I've decided to do is take it outside and I'm going to brush it all up and then jet wash it off. Now to protect the inside so I don't get loads of water in there and that, I've created this little bit of plyboard that then just bolts into the original head bolts holes. Obviously you can see I've used a head bolt and then just a nut on it. And then I've just taped up some of the oil ports for the oil filter housing, the one for the dipstick down there, and then I've just taped up this main front seal. And then that's it. I put a little bit of degreaser over it. I'm just going to brush at it and then jet wash it off. Oh yeah, I've also chucked some gloves in there to block up the water pump. Okay, so as you can see, after a lot of a bit of wire wheeling as well and jet washing off, it's in a lot better condition. It's not amazing, but you know, I'm not taking the cams out, the crank out, so really you'd want to actually acid bath something like this to get it perfect. But it's pretty much near ready for paint, so I'm just going to get it back in the shed and get it all dried off.
Ooh, come on.
Alright, now that's back in. I am covered in shit. I'm gonna go inside and make a cup of tea and then come back out and carry on with what I'm doing next. So, okay, I am back. So now what I'm gonna do is take off the ply cover I made. I'm going to leave the oil pan on at the moment just because I'm sort of running out of space in here at the moment from where I've started taking everything apart. So I'm going to leave that on so I don't end up damaging it or anything like that. Also any oil that's left still inside the block is going to be dripping down. I am at some point going to spin the block over and just clean inside with like some fast drying contact cleaner and a cloth, like the inside of the block, just to get rid of most of that grime that's built up in there. So yeah, let's take this off and expose this. Expose it like a famous figure that's done bad stuff. Right, now I'm hoping I don't have to use the spanner to get these off. I'm kind of hoping I can just use the socket. Let us take a look. I need to take these nuts off anyway. These nuts. Okay. A little bit of water in there, just like a few drops on top of the pistons, but I'm just gonna get some cloth and wipe that round. Okay guys, so the oil pumps come out pretty nicely actually. There's just a few little bits. I've just been going over with some WD-40 and wiping off some of the more stubborn bits. Like I said earlier, with the other parts, it doesn't matter too much if it's still stained. It's just mainly trying to get that gunk off. Now, obviously, I think I might have got some water in the pipes. However, that should be alright. I mean, it's not going to go back in the car in the motor straight away, so it has time to dry out. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is just spray a load of WD-40 into the pickup line. Then once I've done that, just give it a wiggle round. You can hear it all in there. Hopefully you'll be able to see this, but I'm just going to start twisting a pump. There you are, and you can see it's all starting to come out. So I'm just going to do that a couple times, and then dry it all out, and it should be good. You can also remove the actual pickup line with here. I can't remember, I'm not going to do it just in case it doesn't come with it, but I'm pretty sure the block gasket kit does come with a spare one of those. when I get to reassembling the engine and I have the gaskets arrived, I guess I can let you know then. But for now, I'm just going to leave it out. I mean, I think this piece is alley anyway. I've got a magnet. Yeah, I think... Oh, no, the pickup line's steel. Not sure about the actual pump. So, like all the other parts then, just going to cover that in WD-40, like I have been anyway, because I've been cleaning it up. And then that will be going in the bag for a bit. I'm hoping to start cleaning out the bottom of the block with the pistons and the crank, so I can actually put this back in as soon as possible, really, so I've got less stuff hanging around. Okay guys, so with moving on to the block, what I've been doing is just been spraying a load of WD-40 inside of the block over the crank and that, because you can't really get in there with much cleaning products. Like, I don't want to end up damaging anything, so I'm just going to spray the WD-40 in there and then just wipe around with cloths and get as much stuff out as I can. Now, with the sump area where the oil pan connects to it, basically what I've quite simply been doing is, once again, spraying that with WD-40. I've been going over it with a little blade scraper. I don't know where I've put that now. There we are, a little blade scraper, and just very gently keeping it nice and flat, and like I say, very gently, just rubbing along it like that to take the worst off. And then once I've done that, I'd go over it with a bit of this, the grey scotch again, but like I say, very gently, sort of pretty much like that. So it's quite tedious work, but it's come out a bit. Now, most of these bits where there's corrosion and stuff is the bits that are actually still outside of the engine. So the seal, as you can see, the gasket runs along there. So I'm not actually going to focus on that too much. I've got it down a little bit, but that's probably as much as I'm going to have it for now. And then I just need to move over and do this side now. So it's all starting to come off a bit more. There's quite a few big bits of the gasket. I think the gasket, I don't know, build up there. But what I used last time, and like I said earlier, I haven't got any at the moment, is the oven cleaner. You just sort of soak that on there for a bit, and then usually you can just use, once again, one of those grey scotch bits, and just go over it lightly, and it all starts to come off, or even just running over it with a blade. But like I say, I just want to be able to get the oil pump and that back in, so I haven't got everything sitting everywhere. So I'm going to just start cleaning on the cranks and stuff now. Okay, so I've given it a bit more of a wipe over. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner in there now, even on these bits here. So what I'm going to do is just rotate the block back over, so all the crap that's in there is going to fall out. And I'm just going to leave it like that just for a little bit, and then while I'm doing that, I'm going to clean the baffle up for the oil thingy. And then I'll flip it back round and reassemble it all back together. Okay guys, so I've got the pump back on and the baffle, or whatever that's called, and already I'm happy with how much cleaner the whole thing is. So yeah, I'm going to spin it over and we'll have a look at cleaning the top of the block. With regards to the block, on the top it's going to be very similar to what I was doing on the bottom, so it's not actually that bad on here, so I'm not really going to do much. It'll be a case of just scraping off a bit of leftover gasket there, and then just going over it a bit with the grey scotch. But what I'm going to do now is just have a look at the piston, see how we can clean the crowns of those. I'm just going to rotate it so we can have cylinder 6 all the way to the top. Because I had a little bit of a look at this one. There we are. Now they're not as bad as what my M50 ones were, so I think I can get away with. I've soaked them all in WD-40, so I think I can get away with literally just going over them with a cloth and get some light. So what we got? We're gonna soak it in WD-40 again. I'm going to get the little scraper and being very gentle with it, this one. Well, this is one of the reasons why you want the crown right at the top again, the piston, is so that you don't end up damaging the wall. So I'm going to stay away from the actual cylinder wall. So yeah, just going to grab a little bit of this and just go around. Now, I may have mentioned previously, earlier in the video, about oven cleaner. This is basically the same thing, as in the procedure, apart from instead of WD-40 you're just doing it with oven cleaner. As you may have noticed, I seem to use WD-40 to clean a lot of things. It's because it does work. So, as you can see, that one already looks better. I mean, I gave that one a bit of a clean. It needs it just going around a little bit more, but if we go around, you'll see. So cylinder 5, look how dirty that is, and it goes down. I'll put 6 up. Ooh, very clean. So there'll be a little bit also, as well as you can see, of the stuff running down in the cylinder. So I'm just gonna wipe that round. And you may have a bit of build up on the cylinders on the wall as well. I've just soaked those in WD-40 and just went at them with a cloth, and there you are. You can see that sort of just disappears. Now I'm just going to do the rest and then do the top, and that's the block pretty much done with at the moment until we get onto the painting side of it, I guess.